Welcome to my first ever book review. I'm today reviewing The Teachings of Buddha by, the man himself. This is the version where it's the, Japanese English version, see, by, Bakyo Dendo Kaioke. I probably read that really roughly, but bear with me. The Teachings of Buddha is a staple in any library or any spiritual library, basically. It is a book of proverbs and metaphors and little stories that can help you along the way of the middle path. The middle path being the path of the monk, the person who just doesn't force things and doesn't just become passive either. It's the middle way, active and passive, aware, taking the road less traveled. It goes into, and this one has the Japanese version on one side, and the kanji on one side and the English on the other. But this is just an amazing book. Like I was reading it while I was in university, and what I would do is after class or after work, I would just drive home and I would leave this book in my car, and I would just park under a street lamp and I'd read a chapter every time I got out of my car in that time period and then I just read the whole book just sitting in my car, under a street lamp. So, there's the way of purification, there's the it goes into the chapters of, let's see right here. So it says, Buddha's wisdom is broad as the ocean, and his spirit is full of great compassion. Buddha has no form but manifests himself in exquisiteness and leads us with his whole heart of compassion. This book is valuable because it contains the essence of Buddha's teachings as recorded in over 5,000 volumes. These teachings have been preserved and handed down for many more than 2,500 years, extending beyond borders and racial barriers of the world. The words of Buddha contained in this book touch on all aspects of human life and bring meaning to it. Which I would agree to. It has layers upon layers of depth and expansion of your own spiritual makeup, It goes into the Shakyamuni Buddha, the life of the Buddha, which when they talk about the life, I'm sure they're talking about Siddhartha and how he left his estate of millions and riches as a royalty and left to go live with the impoverished and the ill health and traveled around the world just to experience what others had going on in their lives. And it goes into the lives and teaching of the Buddha, the eternal glorified Buddha, his companion vow, Buddha's relief and salvation for us, the eternal Buddha, the form of Buddha, his virtues, three aspects of Buddha body, the appearance of Buddha, Buddha's virtues, consolation, the fourfold noble truth, which is a staple in Buddhist teachings, causation, dependent origination, the theory of mind only and the real state of things, impermanency, egolessness, the theory of mind only, the real state of things, the middle way, Buddha nature, the mind of purity, Buddha nature, egolessness, defilements, human defilements, man's nature, human life, reality of life, the relief offered by Buddha, amid Buddha's vows, amid Buddha's land of purity, the way of practice, and then it goes in the way of the brotherhood, and it goes into the appendix and stuff like that, It's just a very, there's so much in this book that you can benefit from on your spiritual journey. This aspect of Buddhism is not so much a religion, but a way of life, a way of realizing through the proverbs and experiences that you too can live the middle way and experience your own internal enlightenment and expression. And then I'll just flip to a random page to show you how wonderful this book is, that you can flip to anything and it'll have something. So I'll read from this page. Oh, my foolish, foolish mind, thus you have led me along different paths, and I have been obstinate to you and docile. But now that I have heard the Buddha's teaching, do not disturb me any more or cause me any further suffering, but let us seek enlightenment together, humbly and patiently. Oh, my mind, if you could only learn that everything in this non-substantial and transitory, if you could only learn not to grasp after things, not to covet things, not to give way to greed, anger, and foolishness, then we might journey in quintessence, quietness. Then by serving the bond of desires with the sword of wisdom, by being undisturbed by changing in circumstances, advantage or disadvantage, good or bad, loss or gain, praise or abuse, we might dwell in peace. Oh, my dear mind, it was you who first awakened faith in us. It was you who suggested our seeking enlightenment. We do give you way too easily. Why do you give way so easily to greed, love of comfort, and pleasant excitement again? O my mind, why do you rush hither and thither with no definite purpose? Let us cross the wild sea of delusion. Hitherto, I have acted as you wished, but now you must act as I wish, and together we will follow the Buddha's teaching. O my dear mind, these mountains, rivers, and seas are changeable and pain-producing. Where in the world of delusion shall we seek quietness? Let us follow the Buddha's teaching, cross over the other shores of enlightenment. So, basically, it goes into the Eightfold Path, which is, you see the symbol here, that's the eight-spoked wheel, which represents like the directions of life we take, and a representation of a wheel of a ship as well, I suppose. And then it talks about the Four Noble Truths, and the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, something like that, the three treasures, you know. But really, this is like just a great copy of the teachings in both English and Japanese kanji, and if you get a chance to look into any of these teachings, I highly recommend this version. You know, it's just it's a really good book, you know? And to top it all off, I'm storing a Sudoku puzzle in here for later, so it's a great read, highly recommend it. I'll give you another glimpse of that real fast. The Teachings of Buddha. Get yours today at a local bookstore that sells good books. Wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day, that you may shine forth on the most noble, righteous path of the middle way, and that you too can experience the blessings of this life as a conduit. Have a lovely day.